This is a walkthrough on how to use the ratio test to find the radius of convergence. So for this particular series, we're going to be using the ratio test, but that does not mean that you have to use the ratio test on every series. There are some series that are geometric, then you can just use a geometric formula to determine the convergence and divergence relatively easily. You don't have to use the ratio test for that. But for this one, we do have to use the ratio test. And notice that when we're taking the absolute value of the ratio test, we can ignore the -1 to the n because that won't matter when we're taking the absolute value. So this is just the n plus 1 times the reciprocal of that, right? Because the ratio test states is a sub n plus 1 over a sub n. So this is our a sub n, but we're dividing that, so we're multiplying by the reciprocal of this. So we see that a bunch of terms can be canceled. For example, the 7 and 7, they're gone. 2 and 2, they're gone. Let's see, x minus 6 all to the n plus 1, that can be rewritten as x minus 6 to the n times x minus 6 to the first power. So that can cancel with this and leaving us with just x minus 6 to the first power. And for this, 4n plus 2 and 4n plus 3, you can write that as 4 to the n times 4 squared and 4 to the n times 4 cubed. So 4 to the n will cancel, and 4 squared cancels with 4 cubed. So we have 4 to the first power at the bottom. And n plus 9, that cannot be simplified any further, and the same for n plus 8. So this is our simplified version. And since n is approaching infinity, and my top and bottom, they all have the same power, so this is just going to equal x minus 6 over 4. And since we're looking for convergence, right, so we have to set r less than 1, and since that's the absolute value, so which means this also must be greater than -1. So to get x by itself, we multiply both sides by 4 and add 6 to both sides. We get 2 is less than x is less than 10. And the reason why we got 6 is because that's our center of the series, right? It is centered at 6 because this expression tells you that the series is centered at 6. If it's x plus 6, then the center is -6. So the expression x minus a is your center. So we just plug in the center for x, and then we can think of this as a number line. The distance between 2 and 6 is 4, and between 10 and 6 is also 4. So that means our radius of convergence is 4.